Hello, everyone. How is everybody doing today? I have ZetaMath here with me.
Hello. I might be able to be heard by now. I'm not sure.
Let's see.
But hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well.
I think I might be slightly louder than ZetaMath. Does Chad agree with me?
Usually I'm the loud one.
We're pretty close. It's probably okay, unless somebody very slightly. No? Okay. It's good enough.
Oh, I hope you survived the storm okay, Acid Helm. And by the way, welcome Nell, Jay, Jennifer, Manu, Plonk Time. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome all.
Indeed.
So this...
From New Hampshire, welcome, Zampini.
Zampini.
Isn't that what I said?
Yeah, kind of. So today is going to be kind of a two-part stream. For the first part, I'm going to be solving the rest of these best of puzzles from ZetaMath's Sudoku class. Then with the time left over, ZetaMath is just going to do his regular stream, I think, unless you understood something different.
Nope, that sounds good.
Okay. How is everybody today? Where are you, Acid Helm, that there is a big storm? Good. Well, we can get started on this puzzle. We have standard thermos, where digits along a thermo strictly increase from the bulb to the tip.
Hey, it's Avocado. Welcome back. And hey, Thomas.
Welcome to both of you. And then all the colored lines are palindromes. So they read the same forwards and backwards. It is, wow, it's really not stormy season in Southern California. I wouldn't think, but apparently it is. Okay, I see a million things in this puzzle right away.
Zach will prepare. Yes, there are many choices.
Zach is going to do an everything dance.
Boop boop boop. Woo! Boop boop boop. Boop boop woo! Boop boop boop. Woo! Boop boop. Boop boop. Woo! Boop whoop and a whoop. Thank you, Zach. Thank you.
And we get a couple other digits for free because of the palindromes. Let's see, there's going to be an 8 exactly here because it can't go in the bulb of a thermo. There's 6 here.
I really love the color choice here.
They're nice colors. There's not much choice along here. In fact, from here it's forced. No, the whole thing is forced. It's got to go 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9.
I don't really know how you do that, but I know how I would have done it, and I would have gotten the same thing. That's right, it's avocado. The bulb has the smallest number, and then it gets strictly bigger each step along the thermo.
Well, the first
So,
thing I saw was that none of these could be 4, but the minimum this could be was 5 because of the 1 and the 4 looking at it. And you couldn't have a 6, so the rest of it was 7, 8, 9, and then I went backwards.
I see. I would have placed the 4 in column 1 as my first thing, and then said, okay, well, now it's forced because I just had to put the 6 numbers in order. So you did do it slightly differently than I did.
Yes, avocado. On thermos, numbers are increasing, and the bulb is the lowest one.
Jennifer did it Tristan's way. I always enjoy when people in chat say how they saw things, if it's different or which way
We
they
have
saw
a
it.
9 here in this box, Sven says, and a 1 here, because that can't be a 1.
Sounds good.
Let's see. And the 8 can't be here, so it goes here.
I will say students absolutely loved palindromes, so there were a bajillion palindrome puzzles set by students. So that this sort of stands in for all of them. Although I guess we did a couple puzzles with palindromes last time, but this is the palindromiest of the palindrome puzzles.
And this one is that one. Yeah. Jay Dyer is right that there's a 5 here. 7 in box 5 points out acid home can only go here. And this is a 2, 3 pair. Oh, Jay Dyer said box 3. Well, 5 is still placed there. Box 3, you say. Must go here.
Seems very helpful.
Yes, that also places a 5 here. Zampini points out we have 4 8s looking into box 6. So an 8 goes up here.
By the way, if people are wondering why I'm quieter than usual, it's because I've solved these and I chose this collection of puzzles. So I'm only saying something if I have additional commentary to add or if Tristan is very stuck.
Let's see. Now, if we were to put an 8 here, where would 8 go in box 2? And I think that's a problem. So I think 8 must go here.
Tony, okay. Tony, okay. We'll try to remember. It's Tony.
Oh, it's T Zampini, so Tony. And I think that's all our 8s. Yeah. Yep. Let us see. At some point, we shall have to investigate this thermo down here.
probably true. Sweet Blues,
We
welcome.
do need a
57 Thorns.
1 in one of these cells for what that's worth. Hi, Sweet Blues. I think
also
Sweet
need a
Blues
2
is
in
saying
one of those
5 in
cells.
box 8, which can't go on the tip of a thermo that's this long. So the 5 in box 8 has to go here. And yes, hello, Sweet Blues. Let's see, 9 in box 6.
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
And not on the end of this palindrome, so yes.
Very helpful 9.
We have an awful lot of low digits to place in this column. Hi,
Hey,
Daniel.
Daniel.
5 now in box 7. Good point to Thomas. Can't go here or it would repeat with this 5. So 5 goes here. And what are these? We haven't placed a 7 or a 9. So that's also a 7-9. Makes a pair in the row.
I do always enjoy using palindromes to make pairs or triples, as we saw in a puzzle last time.
We
Oh, yeah,
have
there's a lot of 5s looking at box 9.
4 5s looking into box 9. So I think that gives us a 5 here.
Looks right.
Then this can't be as low as 2, so that's going to have to be a 3 with a 4, and that's a 1 or a 2. Oh, we have almost all our 5s? Yes.
The middle cell of odd length palindromes is always so sad.
Yeah, it's left out of all the fun.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Transmission.
Welcome, Transmission. You have had a 6 in box 1 since the beginning of the puzzle.
Oh, have I now?
Yes, because of the 2 palindromes, there are 4 6s looking at box 1. I don't think it does anything, but it is just, it was the first thing I noticed.
This 7-9 pair down here points out Danita. Lets me put the 7 in box 1. Also in the middle of a odd length palindrome.
Dang you. Could do a puzzle where all the palindromes are simultaneously also zipper lines, so the center cell has something to do.
Oh, the 9 in box 1 now has to go here. Putting a 9 there. And the last thing in box 1 is a 1.
Indeed.
And left in row 1, let's see, we haven't put a 3, and we haven't put a 7, I think. And we know the order.
We
and
do.
that 3 gives us a 3 here.
Sven in column 4.
Oh, so we get 7, 7, 9.
That was Avocado's point, by the way.
Yeah, this cell can't be 7, 8, or 9, so it is 6, as Acid Helm points out. And this one can't be 7 or 8, so it's 9. And
why?
left in row 9, we have a 3, which goes here, and a 2. And left in this box, we've got a 6. Left in this row, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
One
and
of them is a
9, and we
7.
know the order. This is a 1-2 pair. This 2-3 is resolved the other way.
Indeed, Avocado.
Yep, Avocado keeps getting there right the same time as me. Or slightly earlier, since they have to type it.
Yeah.
We have enough 3s looking at the box 4, points out Robert.
Indeed.
How are we doing on 3s? We only have 1 left.
We have found it. The 3s shall not escape our glance.
Let's see, there's a 4 here by Sudoku, 4 here. 4 must go here, and so therefore must go here. And now we have all our 4s. Let's see, left in this row, we have a 1 and a 2, which is cute. So this cell is going to resolve it.
Yep.
So this must be a 1 and a 2, but it's not a 1.
Indeed.
So we get 2s there, 2 and
Welcome,
1
Thomas.
here.
And Jay.
Hi, J40.
1 in box 2 points out it's Avocado.
Yep, and then the puzzle is just done. Let's see, this must be a 2. In this row, we're missing a 7. In this column, we're missing a 6.
Indeed.
I'm practicing my scanning. And in this box, we're missing a 1. And I didn't fill in the last digit of the puzzle, which is a 2.
Excellent.
That was very cute.
Yes, I quite enjoyed that one. Plus, just the colored lines that are all neon, I quite enjoyed.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever made lines that were that pretty in colors in one of my puzzles.
There was a bunch of malicious adding middle digits too. You couldn't super avoid. Well, you could if you left out this one and made it.
Yeah, that one you would have had to.
This one you can't avoid, but all the others you could avoid. I think no, you couldn't avoid this one. But you could avoid this and you could avoid that. But yeah, lovely puzzle. All right, let's see what's next.
I don't even have the list up, so it's going to be a surprise for me too.
We have a Whisper Arrow by Crystal Rose.
Oh.
It is small difference rules. What has been traditionally called Chinese whispers.
No, this should be. This is not that kind of whisper. This is German whisper.
Well, you gave me the wrong link then, because
Oh, one moment. Let me get you the right one.
this is, yeah, we've already done this one.
Let me give you the right one.
Send it to me on Discord.
Yep.
Yeah, you gave me Chinese dots again.
Oops. Apparently I did. Well, you can do the next one, and I'll go find you the right link for this one.
Okay. Next up is Sandwich Buffet by McCrow, which looks like Sandwich Renbahn German Whispers? Oh, and between lines.
Smorgasbord.
Hence buffet. Let me take a look at how this looks on stream. I bet I have to adjust it. Let's see. Going to turn off row column labels and let's see. Oh, it's actually not bad.
I had
Yeah,
sent
that's
it
good
to you on
enough.
Discord.
Okay. Oh, yes, please do, as Danita says, take a moment to like the stream.
Yes. Are you going to explain the rules?
I am going to explain the rules. So in this puzzle, we have we have these we have these lines with circles on the ends, and what that says is all the digits along the line have to lie strictly between the digits on the ends of the line. We have these purple lines, which are Renbahn, and they are a set of consecutive digits in any order. We have these green lines, German whispers, on which digits have to differ by at least 5. And then we have sandwich rules, where a digit or a clue outside the grid gives the sum of the digits that lie between the 1 and the 9 in that row or column. So this 12 pointing at a Renbahn between a 1 and a 9 immediately says that these are 3, 4, 5 in some order. We'll have to start coloring 1s and 9s maybe, although we're given so many of them.
It just tells you where to start coloring, right?
Let's see, this 17 so it's going to have to be highs on the ends and a low.
Yes, conveniently, the highest you could get is 16 if you do it the other way around.
Yeah, 4, 3, and 8 is 16. No, it's 15. Highest you could get is 15.
Oh, right. I ignored the 9. Yep. And 3, 4, 8 isn't even a valid whisper.
Oh, wow. So that's true.
So yeah, I missed many things in my my estimate, but it's still too small.
Mehdi points out, by the way, hi Mehdi, that we can just place 9 in this box, since it has to go. Oh no, it's just placed because this given 2 is here.
Yes. I feel like you told me what the 17 whisper clue had to be and then didn't fill it in.
Well, Jay Dyer says it has to be 7, 8 with a 2, which I buy.
Indeed.
Since 7, 8 is the maximum these can be. And if you tried to do 6, 7, it would have to go with a 1, or 6, 8 would still have to go with a 1.
Delicious, Naverio.
Let's see. These.
Oh, that's right. We get a 9 dance. I totally missed it. Zach was so worn out after doing an everything dance last time. Ba-doop, ba-doop. Woo! Ba-doop, ba-doop. Wah! Ba-doop, ba-doop. Wee! Ba-doop, 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 ba-doop. Wah! Thank you, Zach.
Choreographed dances.
Indeed.
Let's see. This is minimum 6 for what that's worth. Just by between lineage. Don't know that that does anything. This has to be fairly small.
It's Avocado loves the Zach part of the stream. Zach is quite popular.
Let's see. 1 in box 2. Ah, the 1 can't go here because that would break the 18. So 1 goes here. And 1 actually has to go all the way over here in this row.
Indeed. It was pointed out by DWeb that the between line in column 6 is minimum 3, 4, 5, 6, and those digits add to 18.
Ah, huh.
Because of the 2 that
Yep.
you placed.
Yes. So these have to be a 3, 6 pair with a 4, 5 pair. That's going to make this a 3, that a 6, and that a 3.
DWeb may have stopped believing DWeb, but I maintained the faith and kept believing that what DWeb had said was true. Can you explain how the sandwich clues work for It's Avocado?
Yes. So what these outside clues say, like this 17, is looking down at this column, and what it says is that in between the 1 and the 9 in this column, which we hopefully know where they are, the numbers in between them sum to this clue. So these
2
had
plus
to sum
7 plus 8.
Right. In this case, because of this German whisper, we knew what these had to be. But that applies for every row and every column that has an outside clue.
It's so funny to me that sandwich is one of the oldest variants because I think in a lot of ways it feels like one of the least natural variants to choose.
We're gonna have to put a 1, 9 here with a 7 in the middle because there's no other way to make 7 in this row now that this is so clogged, and we can't put a 9 over here. And so now we can't put a 9 on this Renban or we'll blow up the 21 clue, I think. Or no, that's not necessarily true. Well, Sayori asks where 4 and 5 go in column 5, and they're ruled out of all of these, so they go up here.
And then Sayori has a very beautiful point that you can do more, because now you can say what the Renbun is. This can't be 4 or
So
5.
this has to be, it can't be 4, 5, so this has to be 3 or 6, but it can't be 3. So it's a 6 with a 5 and a 4.
Mekti pointing out you can fill in the triple in row 6 and it gets you a digit.
Yeah. The left in this row is 3, not 3. 4, 5, and 8. But this 8, it looks up here, gives us those.
Indeed.
So that's not 8. A lot of 4, 5s floating around. Yeah, D-Web pointing out 9 in box 3 is definitely in these cells, because if you put it on a Renbun, you'd need an 8, which you can't have. So 9 down here is in one of these cells. Let's see. Mehdi points out 2 is placed in column 4, and then in the rest of column 4, we only have a 7 and an 8 left. We know the order.
Indeed. And the last digit in box 2 is very useful.
Last digit in box 2. Oh, it's an 8, so that places a 9 over here, and a 9 here.
So you skipped my favorite step in the puzzle, because you did this grid in a somewhat different order. Let's see if I can draw on the screen.
You can't. I have it disabled to.
My favorite step in the puzzle was that as soon as you know that row 6 column 3 is a 1 or a 9, you know that row 8 column 3 is not a 1 or a 9. And so that ended up resolving the 21 clue in that row when I did it in that order.
So let's see. Could we put a 9 here? Maybe. Would put an 8 here, which seems maybe okay. That would give us already a 15, and we'd have 6 more. So these would have to add to 6 as well. See, they'd have to be 2, 4 going that way with a 1. That just barely works right now. Let's see. We can't have a 1 over here, points out Todd. And if we put a 1 here, Todd points out that neither 4 nor 5 is equal to 15. So our 1 actually has to go over here with 7. So these have to add to 8. So this is, oh, it's only 3 with a 5. Very nice. And left in this box is a 7.
I don't know how it manages to come up so often, but the fact that 8 is 4 plus 4, but you can't have two fours in a row column or box of a Sudoku is one of my favorite deductions. I feel like it shows up infinitely more often than the fact that 6 isn't 3 plus 3, for example.
We can write in these triples. This is 2, 4, 6. And left in this box, we have 3, 5, and 8. And that one isn't 3. And if this is 7, 6, 5, that's 18. And with a 2, 4, or a 6 here, we couldn't possibly get... We would undershoot or overshoot 21. Well, we'd overshoot. Because we'd have to put a 1
minimum
here.
20, so you have to add another digit, but you can't add only 1.
So this is actually an 8. And now, but 9 still can't go here. I think. No, maybe it, let's see, 6, 7, 8. No, that is 21. So the 9 goes here. And as we said before, this has to be a 2 and a 4 with a 1.
Yes, we knew basically what had to happen because we spent so long trying to disprove that it happened, and then when it happened, then we knew what it had to be.
Yeah, these are from 4, 5, 6, 7. So they definitely have a 5 and a 6.
And I bet I know where they go.
This is the 4 or the 7. So this is the 5. The 5. These are the 5, 6.
Yeah, Todd found a hidden pair. It's always cool.
No 5 there.
Placing the 6 in box 6 if you want.
Yeah, I was going to say what's left in this row or this box. 6 is going to have to go here, and left here is 2.
I will pretend that I knew that and was letting you practice your scanning.
I don't know, maybe my scanning's better when I wake up really early.
I haven't quite woken up yet myself, but I'll get there someday.
Let's see. We do have to... Let's see. We can't have just 2 digits of outies. Can we? Maybe we can.
Could be 6 and 8, right?
Yeah. Oh, but just by Sudoku. We do.
Right, yes, we do. It is 20 minutes till noon for us. It's avocado.
But I woke up at 6 this morning. Let's see. We've got a 1 here. So these are actually a 2 and a 3. Just by Sudoku. That's our last one. These are a 6 and an 8, and we know the order.
Good luck at rehearsal, no Gwen.
So
am I supposed to say break
8.
a leg? I guess it depends what kind of rehearsal it is.
This is a 4 or a 7. We have a pointing octuple in column 6. We're missing a 7.
An I-wing, as the pros call it.
So this now sees 7, 8, and 9. No, wait, we're looking for low digits here.
It's true. It can't be a 7, 8, or a 9.
Uh, uh, the 6-8 is forcing a 6-8 pair here, points out Sayori. So this is actually a 3. So this is a 2 or a 4. Ah, but it's not a 4, because that would be a 9. So that's a 2. And that's a 5, and that's a 4, and that's a 5. Uh, that's a 7 or an 8. Lakio pointing out we can do math on row 2. Uh, that adds to 11, and we need 7 more between this 1 and this 9. So that's a 7, putting a 4 here. 7, 8, 6, and 8. Left in this box, we need a 3 and a 7.
Sven knows.
And this row is missing a 2.
This setter making this puzzle experienced the ultimate nightmare of having made a mistake in the first step of the puzzle that they set, and then having to go back and fix it. And fortunately, they were able to fix it and maintain almost all of the rest of the intended flow of the puzzle.
Yes, 3 is placed in box 7, points out Robert. And then it is placed in box 1. That's all our 3s. What are we doing on 5s?
We have very few of them, but we're about to have a bunch more.
We got... Yeah. That's all of them, I think. Let's see. There is another pointing octuple in this row. We are missing 8. And this is a 6. Still practicing my scanning. Although I won't make you wait for me to scan all the rest of these, so we will call this done.
Yes, when a tester points out your puzzle has an error in your intended logic, that is about the worst, especially when it's on like one of the very first steps. All
right. I was a little skeptical of the setting at first, that there are so many placed 1s and 9s. But I don't think it hurts the puzzle at all. I think it does very cute things.
Tristan is a delight. I must admit, I am also a big fan of Tristan.
Oh. Okay. Let us let's see. We were missing...
Yeah, I sent you the link to the
so this is an Arrow German Whisper. I'm afraid, Lakio, we cannot disclose what setters got what grades.
something FERPA.
Let's see.
Hey, Josh.
Somehow my row and column numbers got cut off. Yeah, welcome, Josh. Yeah, this one is a very cute looking grid.
The original title was some reference to Indiana Jones, for reasons that you might be able to guess.
Well, we've got the head and the arms, and maybe this is a whip and this is his penis. All right. Let's see. This let's see. I should probably just color this entire thing. Oh, wait, this 5, so this is high. So we can get high-low coloring on this line.
We can do that.
And I kind of want a yellow-purple. Let's see. These are the same high-lowity. Well, maybe if we yellow-purple color this line, it will become clear what's what. Okay. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, or 6, 7, 8, 9. But if they're 1, 2, 3, 4, then this cell is at least 6. So, and that is too much. So in fact, yellow is blue, and purple is.
I think you did that backwards.
I did do that backwards. Yellow is orange, and purple is blue.
Also, row 2, column 5, you have miscolored.
Ding it. Wow, I'm just. So this is because of the arrow, this is minimum 4, but it is also maximum 4, being blue. These must be a 1-2 pair with a 1, so we get all of that. Let's go ahead and color through the grid. That needs to be a 9 by German Whispers. That's a 3. It's the only low left in the...
Right, we get to start our 4 dance.
Oh yeah, 4 dance.
Woo! Woohoo! Thank you, Zach. Thank you.
This now needs to be an 8 to go next to the 3. This is going to be a low digit. We'll make 5s green. Todd points out that we now know the high-lowity of this digit since it sees all the low ones, and it can't be a 5. So that's high, and these are low. Our highs left in this column are 6 and 7, but if this was 6, these would both be 1. So this is 7 with a 1-2 pair. And apparently we know the order, says Fen.
You can find the last digit on the arrow, which is the step I would forget 100% of the time.
How about that? Let's see. These, just by the box, have to be low, and now that we have 5s and lows, all of these are high, and that was Acid Helm's point. So this is 7, 8, 9, just because of this. This has to be low.
High plus high is too much.
High plus high is too much, and high plus 5 is too much.
Daniel pointing out you know that digit.
Yes, I just saw that. Daniel pointing out this must be a 3, so this is an 8, 9 pair going around it. So this can only be a 1 or a 2. Let's see, this can only have... This arrow is minimum 4, 5, so it must be 4, 5.
Indeed.
So that's a 9 there. Many people saw that. Oh, that's cute, Tigarian. 6 goes in one of these high cells. We don't know which one. But it goes in one of them. And in any case, that places a 1 in row 5 outside of box 5. So the 1 in box 5 can only go there.
Very nice.
So we need a 3 somewhere in column 5, and it can only go here. And the last digit in row 5 or column 5 is a 6. Yeah,
Bob points out we have all the lows in row 8 and the 5.
We can just do all the lows in row 5. There's a 9 in one of these cells, so that's an 8. That's a 9.
By the way, welcome, Bob. Bob wants you to fill row 8.
Hello, Bob. 4.
You said that in a very ominous way.
Well, I was just looking. I didn't mean to ominous Bob. Right, we have 4 and 5. These are high. They are an 8 and a 7.
Is it you who absolutely hates the movie What About Bob? I remember it was someone.
So that's now a 6 and a 7 and a 1. This puzzle is very smooth.
Yes. Exactly, it's avocado. That is what I heard.
See, this is minimum 5.
You
So,
filled in the 6-7 order, but I don't think the 6-7 order was forced.
whoops.
Several people in chat have pointed this out. I just believed you for the record. But
Sorry.
chat has
It's
caught it.
chat keeps me honest.
Indeed.
This is
Welcome,
5.
Martin, by the way.
This is minimum 5, so this is high. And it's not an 8. Sayuri points out we can actually place the 6 in row 6. Because it can't be in either of these, because that would repeat once. And we can't put it here because we know that's a 2. So 6 in row 6 can only go here.
D-Web says, for the record, they also believed the order of the 6-7 was forced.
For what it's worth, this is a 2-3 pair. Oh, but we know the order.
Several people in chat have pointed out that row 3, column 2 is low.
Yeah, because we know this is minimum 5, so that must be low. And there's no way to make 6 here. So this is 7 or 9 only. D-Web points out that now that this can't be a 2, which has been true for a long time, this can't be 7.
Very nice.
Wait. Yeah.
D-Web saw it a completely different way, but both work. It's avocado. 5 is in its own breed because 5 can't actually go on a green line at all because there aren't any digits that are 5 away from 5. So there's actually sort of 3 flavors. There's the low blue numbers, the high orange numbers, and 5 is its own beast, which is why it shows up as green. Although so far there's only one green 5, and it was the given one. But for different puzzles, 5 sometimes gets to hang out with the high digits and sometimes gets to hang out with the low digits. But for German Whispers, 5 is usually isolated.
Sayuri points out that this just sees 1, 2, and 3, and it's low. So that's a 4, that's a 9, that's a 7.
That does seem very helpful.
This is 2 or 3.
I know which one it is, but I won't tell you.
If this were 3, that would have to be a 4. So that's a 2 with a 5.
We have found our second 5.
And we get 4 and 5 down here. We also get 6 and 7.
See, Tristan told you the 6 and 7 went in that order. No one believed him.
Chat has so little faith in me. This can only be a 3. This can only be an 8. Let's see.
He looked ahead 20 steps. Yes, he saw all of that.
Four in box 4 points out Mehdi actually can't go here because then we would need a 9. So 4 is here. And
Bob pointing out you have only 2 digits left in box 1 and it's resolved.
So that's a 6. That's a 1. This now has to be a 3. So that's an 8. So that's a 9.
It was very fruitful.
That's a 7.
Enjoy, Danita.
See you, Danita. See, this is an 8 and a 9. We don't yet know the order. See, this is a 2 or a 3, so this is a 7 or a 6. Okay.
Row 5, column 2 is also a 6 or a 7.
So it is. That must be a 9. So that's an 8.
I think you only have 1 8 left. No, you have 2 8s, 3 8s left.
This is the other 6 7.
Welcome, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. Box 6.
Yes. Row 6, column 9 is the cell they're referring to. It's low and it sees 1, 2, and 3.
So that's a 4.
And we also know where the 1 goes in this row for the same reason.
That's there. So this must be a 5. And this is a 5.
It is. Except for the 1 arrow, D-Web. The 1 arrow we still are allowed to use.
Yeah. Let's mark these. They are resolved.
Hey, Leah. I'm going to the seaside. That sounds very nice.
Wait. Oh. I thought you meant Leah had been to the seaside, and I was confused. But no, it was.
No, I was responding to different messages.
Confusing.
But I don't pause when I talk.
Let's see, Sayori says row 3 is resolved. I'm just going to do that, which does a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. I'm just going to mark the puzzle. Don't forget your colors.
Priorities.
Of course. Seven and 6. 6, 4, 1, and 5. Oops.
Woohoo!
Lovely.
Shall we take a quick break before the next one?
Sure. That was very smooth and had a lot of interesting things going on, and we resolved the penis early.
I love the 4-1-2-1 arrow.
Yes. All right. We will be right back in a few minutes. See you shortly. Well, unfortunately, our next student puzzle is not very avocado friendly because it has a million rules. Though several of them we've already seen today. So we have our thermos, where the digits get bigger as you go along the thermo. We have renban, which are yellow in this puzzle. Uh, so these are a set of consecutive digits in any order. Let's see, we have palindromes. So these are our palindromes from earlier where they read the same in either direction. We get arrows like we had. So this sum of the digits along an arrow is the digit in the arrow's circle. Now we have these dots where digits on either side of uh, a white dot are consecutive. Digits on either side of a black dot are in a ratio of 1 to 2. So one of them is double the other one. And then we have X's and V's, which are Roman numerals. Digits on either side of an X sum to 10, and digits on either side of a V sum to 5. And yes, we get a bunch of digits immediately. The only thing that's
so the thing I'll note is, so the last puzzle the students had to set was puzzle 18, where they could do whatever they wanted, and students went in two very different directions. I had a number of students do what Jesse did here, which is to combine every variant they used, which of course I love because I do that a lot. And then I had a great many students who decided to set a classic because they had not had any previous assignments where they could set a classic. So people went in polar opposite directions as to what they did with their puzzle 18s.
So this string of 4 cells connected by black dots with an 8 on the end is completely forced because we have to divide by 2 every time. That's the only way it works. So that's a 4, and we get to do a 4 dance.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you.
And that becomes a 2, and that becomes a 1. And with this X, that's a 6. And now we also get to do a bunch of palindroming. So that 5 comes down here. This 6 comes up here. This 1 goes over here. The 6 has to be next to a 5 or a 7, but it's not a 5, so that's a 7. 5 in
I don't know
box
why my
3.
brain went, wait, isn't this broken? Because the 6 can't go next to a 5 or a 4. My brain did not do super well.
5 in box 3 can't go on an X, especially because it would repeat the 5 in this box.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be a super big problem.
So that's a 5. And
It's Avocado asks who the students are. I taught a January term course on making Sudoku puzzles. So it was a 3.5-week course that met a whole bunch of hours every day where students learned to make Sudoku puzzles. So these are all puzzles by new Sudoku setters.
This, if you investigate the options, because of this white dot, this can't be 1, 2. Otherwise... Oh, wait. No, it could be. But what this
It was
has
very
to...
fun.
This does have to have a 2 on it. It sees a 6 and an 8. So the only options are 1, 2, and 2, 4. That can't be a 1. Otherwise, these would both be 2.
Where does the 1 in that row go is how I would say it.
Oh, that's a great point. The 1 in that row actually does go here. So that's a 2 and that's a 4. Now this has to be a 3,
Actually,
6
did I just
arrow.
lie to you? Could the 1 have gone the other place? I thought that was true, but now that you say exactly the words that I thought in my head, I don't anymore think that it's true.
Right. It could go 1, 2, 3.
But I do think that
one of these is a 1, so this is a 2. That much is true. And that's a 1, 4, and this is a 1, 3. But we have this black dot to contend with, which is going to resolve it.
Yes.
Because this sees a 2 and a 4. So it needs to be a 3, 6 black dot. So that means that's a 1 and that's a 4. And it does work out how Zeta Math thought it was going to. And let's see. This can't be 2, 4, or 5. So it's going to have to be a 7 with a 6 and a 3.
Was very amusing to me that you said exactly the words I thought, and then I was like, no, that's not true.
Oh, and if we ask what is left, so only a certain set of digits can go on black dots, and 5, 7, and 9 aren't them. So our 5 and a 9 have to go outside with an 8 here, which goes next to a 4 on a black dot, and then a 1 with a V. Let's see. Sayuri says, Sayuri asks a great question, which is where does 9 go in row 4? And it doesn't go on this end of a thermo. It doesn't go in a box with a 9. It doesn't go here. Or sorry, it doesn't go here, because that would put a 1 here. So it does go here. It's like, wait, why doesn't that go there? This can only be a 2, 4. It sees a 1, 8, and a 6. If we ask what these are, let's see, we're missing a 3.
So I really liked that step, Egbert. I definitely really loved in this puzzle.
We're missing a 3 and a 9. But this 5-9 pair looks over and makes that a 3 and that a 9. This is now a 7.
Egbert's point is that the 9 arrow doesn't have a 1 on it because you can't put a 1 in any of the cells.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, these can't be won by Sudoku, and this can't be won because it would repeat the 9. So this is in fact a 2, 3, 4. And that 2 is putting that's a 3, 4 pair. We have another octuple in row 3 saying this is not a 5. Close. That's a 7. This can't be a 6, so it's an 8. Let's see. This is at least a 6, but it's not a 6 or an 8, so it's a 7 or a 9. 7.
Yes, avocado, definitely.
Maybe this could just get away. This 2 puts an 8 here.
Chat was very kind not to say anything condescending about the fact that you had a 2 on one side of an X and didn't fill in the other side. It's avocado has resolved both of these for you. There are a 3 and an 8.
Thank you, it's avocado. Let's see. This V has to consist of 1 and 4, and the 1 is going to have to be here. So that's a 4, and this is well, that's going to be a 9, and this is 2 and 6, I think. So that's a 6, that's a 2. This is a something.
It sure is.
7. Oh, it's a 1. I just skipped right over that one.
I do
That's
agree
the
with
problem. When
Sayori.
I scan, I start at about 3 or 4. So if it's a 1 or a 2, I'm not going to see it until like the very end.
You're trying to outsmart those setters who you know because they know everyone's going to start scanning at 1. You know they're never going to put a 1 or a 2 there. They're going to put it in like the last place the people are going to look. So you can outsmart them by starting at 4 or something. Acid
Let's
Helm now
see.
joining the Sayori row 8 column 6 is restricted train.
Yeah, this is maximum 5. So it's 4 or 5, 3 or 4, 2 or 3. So that's a 2.
Resolving the X, as Sayori says.
We have 1, 2, 4. So this is a 3, 7 in that order. And left in the box, we have 5 and 6. And then left in this row, we have a 2. See, I didn't skip over it that time.
You're in on the meta now.
Let's see, that's
It's
now
being
a
pointed
4,
out we know the
that's a
Renbans
3.
now. Hey, Peter.
Let's see, one of these Renbun has to be 1, 2, 3, and it's not this one. So this is 7, 8, 9. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know this is lazy.
I mean, lazy would have been to then highlight them and hit the mark button. Hello, Alima and Peter.
Hey, Olima. Hey, Peter. Lakia points out we actually placed the 4.
Work harder, not smarter way. Where is 8 in column 3?
Hey, Franco. Great to see you here.
Welcome, Franco. So Jesse always chose the color for lines that would look best, which I appreciated.
So that's an 8. So that's a 9. This is now 7. Placing a 7 here. Daniel points out that 8, 9 pair actually resolves this. Now this is, let's see, this is a 1, 3, or a 5. Well, it's not a 1. So it's a 3 or a 5. Let's see. This, though, should just be a write-in. I think it's a 6. So this is the other 3 or 5. So that's a 3, that's a 5.
That's what Tristan does on his second monitor, Lakia.
Column 8. It's Avocado points out there's 3 and 7 left in the column, and we know the order. which gives us our 2 and our 3 over here. Let's see, what's left in this column? I am going to hit the mark button there. That's a 7. And this can't be 3, 4. Let's see. Could be 1, 6. But it can't be 2, 5, so it just is 1, 6.
It is.
Gives us our 5 and our 1 here. That's a 9 and a 5 and an 8 and a 9. And now the puzzle finishes. Oh, that was really cute. Really enjoyed that. It was definitely a sort of kitchen sink bit of clues.
I like the kitchen sink puzzles.
But it had a nice flow through the grid. Starting up here and spreading. Yep. I enjoyed that. Good job, Jesse. Let's see.
I think we have another kitchen sink puzzle next, if I recall correctly.
It's a 7 by 7.
There were a lot of cool 7 by 7s.
Oh, it's just a killer XV.
I see. Okay. I mostly chose the 9 by 9s for this, but the 7 by 7s were fun, so I put a few 7 by 7s in here. The world should have more 7 by 7s. The new Tirganai, indeed. Funnily enough, I actually asked Tirganis to make a blank 7 by 7 grid that I could give the students, and so a number of the students set 7 by 7s on a blank Tirganis 7 by 7. This is not the one that Tirganis made. This is a... Well, I'll say I made this, but I'm certain that I am not the first person to make this 7 by 7 arrangement.
I have noticed, by the way, oh, you can't see it on my screen. ZetaMath can see it, that when you open an F-Puzzles thing in Sudoku Pad now, it automatically converts it to a short link.
Which is very nice. Yeah, slowly we're making it so there's fewer steps involved in making things nice. You can see puzzle pages on LMD without being signed in, which is good because LMD locks me out of signing in for a few weeks at a time every now and then.
Okay, so
it's avocado. The bold things here sort of outline the regions, and those regions need to contain the digits from 1 through 7 once each. And so there are no 8s or 9s in the puzzle at all.
So let's see. This is low, but it can't be too low. Whoops. Stop it.
Every row and column needs to contain the digits 1 through 7 once each, avocado. Chat has theories about the 10 gauge.
Yeah. The 10 gauge had better not have a 7 in it, or it'll need 3 1s, and that's a little difficult. So 7 must go here. That's a 3. That's not a 7. That's not a 2. Sorry, what did I do here? This is complete garbage. This is where I meant to put the 5, 6, 7, but that's not 7, so that's not 2. So that's 2 or 1. There we go. Our 10 gauge just needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm silly. And 4 in the 10 gauge goes here. So that resolves all of this business.
Indeed.
That's a 2. Left in this row are a 1, which goes here, and a 5. And then we know what these are. They are a 4 and a 6. We know what these are. Unused X.
Yeah, I don't think we... that X, I think we did not use.
Oh, since it's a 4 and a 6 by Sudoku.
Right. For what it's worth, I used it when I solved the puzzle, because I looked at it and saw the 7, looking down at it, and I had done enough 7x7s to have internalized the fact that there's 2 X's in 7x7, which is just something that you only internalize by doing a bunch of them.
Olima points out that we can actually put a 3 here. Now, this 11 cage without a 4 in it. Well, like... so I think it has to be a 5, 6. That sounds right.
Sounds right.
And this is a 2 and a 7. Sayuri points out this is a 1, 3. Now that needs to be a 1, and the cage can't have a 3 in it. So it has to have a 2 and a 5 in it. Yes, Plonktime did say the 5, 6.
I really liked the way that 1, 3 played with the 8 cage.
This 2, 5 resolves the 6, 5. Olima points out a 12 and 4 needs a 1. It goes there. This is the only place for 3 in row 1, points out micro study. Now this is a write-in, it's a 4. And now this is a write-in in the region, it's a 6. Now this X had better be 3, 7, and we know the order. It's a 1 and a 3. This is a 2 left in the row. 5 and 2.
Manu asks if I prescribed a difficulty. I never prescribed a difficulty. I let them aim for whatever difficulty they wanted, with the only rule being that it needed to be easy enough that at least 2 other students in the course could solve it, because they needed to get the puzzle tested by other people. So they could not set a puzzle that was so difficult that no one else was willing to solve it.
Bye, Avocado.
Bye,
Thanks
Avocado.
for coming.
Yes, absolutely. Hope to see you again.
So let's see. This needs to be 2, 3, 6. That's the 2, that's the 3, that's the 6. We have 7 left in the column. Uh, 7 and 2 go in here.
Target difficulty, cracking the cryptic Patreon exclusive solve.
We have a 7 in this region, so 7 actually goes here. So we need a 7 here, and that's our last 7. This is a pair. It's a 5 and a 6, and we know the order. This is a write-in. It's a 4. This is a write-in. It's a 5.
Oh, I completely forgot about that microstudy. What puzzle was that even?
And it's just done by Sudoku. And that was really fun.
The Thermo-Sudoku. I remember solving the first Sudoku. That was before before I streamed. I think I solved the first Sudoku. I
Yeah,
only hazily recall the second one.
I think you and I solved the first Sudoku together.
We did, because I tried to do it at my office and then I broke it. So then I made you do it with me.
Yeah, before we streamed, we would sit in the living room and put a puzzle on the TV and solve it there. Okay, 2 more puzzles here. Yes. Let's see. This is a Kropke XV.
Franco asked how to get into the class. I'm probably not teaching it again for over a year, but it is a class offered at the college that I teach at.
So let me do a little high-low coloring in the middle here and see what that provides. Well, it gives us a 5.
I will bring out Zach and make MicroStudy very happy. Badoop badoop. Wah. Badoop badoop. Wah. Badoop badoop. Wee. Badoop 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 badoop. Wah. Thank you, Zach. Thank you.
Let's see. No.
Row 5, column 5 is a high black dot digit.
So it's 6 or 8. And that's 3 or 4. That's 1 or 2. So that's 8 or 9. And they'd better be 9 and 8 like that. So that's a 4 and a 1. That's a 2 and a 3 and a 7 and a 6. That's a 9.
Excellent.
Let's see. Here, these are 1, 2, 4, 8. That's not a 1 or an 8. So this needs to be a 3, 6, since it has. No, it doesn't.
The one in row 5 does.
2, 4, and 8. Looking at it.
And now re-examine the one you
Now
were looking at
this
before.
is actually so that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 4, that's an 8, that's a 2.
Digits everywhere.
Now this one needs to be a 3, 6, and we know the order.
Indeed.
It's the other one. Let's see. This must be a 5. This must be a 1 with a 4.
Bifurcated the order nicely.
Let's see, this sees 6 and 8, so these are from 1, 2, 4. That one's not the one.
Welcome, Laura. And Laura, by the way, suggests you look at where 5 is in box 2.
Ah, very nice. So that's a
Putting
4.
In the wrong
That's
order
2.
is a time-honored tradition around here.
Left in this column are a 3, which goes there, and what's this?
Your starting past
kept up
1
with
has
my
tricked you again.
If I had kept up with my coloring, it would have been easier. I will color the surprise purple.
Crisis averted.
This.
Well, that digit is high because it sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's low. This is a 7 or an 8. So this is a 3 with a 7.
I believe this.
Now this is a 1, 4, and we know the order.
I love these two V's.
Let's see. This is now a 2, 3, and we know the order. Column 4 needs an 8. And the last digit is a 2.
J. Dyer with the smart point that there's a 1-4 hidden pair in column 2.
Ah.
And it's very convenient which of them is the 1.
That's a 1. So that's a 2. This now needs to be 3, 7, and we know the order. Very well placed clue there.
Indeed.
Now this 3, 6 is resolved. Running out of clues in the puzzle.
We are rapidly approaching that point. We have a lone white dot left, right?
Let's see. Six, 8. Let's just see what's on here. Oh dear. Well,
That
this
one
sees
sees
every
1 through
low
5.
digit in 5, so it is high. Garion says this, let's see, it sees every low digit. It sees 5 and 6, 7, 8, so it's a 9. Five in the column goes here. And this is an 8.
So now you at least know that both the digits on the white dot are orange.
Yeah, because it can't cross over 5. Let's see, 4 in box 8 is here. Seven is here. That's a 9.
So now you can finish the row.
Let's see. We're missing 5 and 8. The 8 goes here. That's the 5.
You can place the 4 in box 3 now, owing to the white dot.
Did I not post the link to this puzzle?
Apparently not. So
Oh.
saith chat, at least.
Apparently I didn't.
I'm going to step off for just a second, but I'll be right back.
Okay. Let's see. This sees every low. Hey, Ambrose. How are you doing? So it's a 7. Sarah points out that we have a 2 in box 7 here and a 2 in box 1 here. Let's see, we need a 6 and a 5. 6 and a 5. MJ
Welcome,
says
MJ
3
and
in
Ambrose.
column 8. That's there. Left in this row, we have a 6 and a 1. Laura points out one of these is actually a 5, which gives us our 6 and our 5 here. Our 7 is here, so this can only be an 8-9 pair. Thank you, Sayori.
Very sneaky. Yeah, I'm quite impressed with the cluing in this puzzle.
Yeah, it's
Makes you work for the end. Seven and 9 left in box 9, and you know the order.
Because of that 8-9. That's 7. I think we might mark now.
I think we can now mark. Just make sure you get rid of all the 8-9s that are seen by the 8-9 pair.
Mm-hmm. 5, the 9. It's a 1. It's a 4, 8, 6, 4, 7, 5.
One of those colors.
6. Well, I have a 1-key shortcut to do orange and blue, but I have to do a combination of keys to get to green.
Ta-da!
Very nice. Yeah, that was that had a, you sort of rushed into the beginning, but after that it was quite sparsely clued and really enjoyable to tease out where everything went. Glob, I have my keys completely custom mapped for Sudoku. I put my keyboard into Sudoku mode, and I have all my own things. So center marking and corner marking is just a single key combination, and then it goes back to center mode. So I don't actually switch modes.
One more puzzle to go.
One more puzzle.
I will say this student loved negative constraint stuff and variations therein, and set many puzzles in that. And I know Tristan also enjoys those. So I definitely picked this one out for Tristan because I believe that Tristan would very much enjoy this adventure.
Yeah, we have a non-consecutive XV. Give me just a moment because I have to fit links into the description somehow.
This puzzle, to be clear, doesn't have a negative constraint. This one is just XV non-consecutive. I guess non-consecutive is a negative constraint on white dots, so you could call it that.
And there's a link. Okay, so this is going to have to be a 1-4 pair because it can't be 2-3. Any V is a 1-4 pair.
Indeed.
As Olima points out. So this
all
is
white
a
dots
6
are
or a
given.
9. This is a 6 or a 9.
I found this puzzle quite difficult. I'm curious how difficult it will be with chat pointing out things.
Let's see. This can't be 4,
Yes,
6,
Sayori
or
has a
1,
digit
9.
for you if you're into that kind of thing.
Oh, 4 and row 7 because it can't go next to the 3. So it can only go here. So we get to do a 4 dance.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you.
Robert points out that 6 only has one place in row 5 because it can't go here because that would require a 4, but we have a 1-4 pair. So 6 must go here with a 4 and a 1. That's a 1 and a 4. Yes, Josh. 5 in box 4. You can slowly rule it out of places. Can't go on the X. This is next to a 4. Roll. So 5 goes here. 5 only goes here in this box. That's very cute. Uh,
Where do 4 and 6 go in box 5 was a question from chat, from Ambrose in particular.
uh, that's a 4-6 pair in particular. Let's see. Ah. Ah. 5 in row 7, points out Sarah. I sort of blanked out on the given 5.
It would have been easier if you went with Jay Dyer's way of doing that, but it worked. Jay Dyer pointed out that you could have first corner marked 5 in box 7, and it made that deduction a lot easier.
That's fair.
All right, I'm impressed you spotted that, Sarah.
Right, there's a 3 in one of these cells, so this is actually a 3-7x. That was Glob's point. Olima points out we can actually put a 6 here, because if we put it down here, it would go next to a 5.
It's true.
And Josh saw that as well.
As MicroStudy says, and now there's an unconsecutive moment.
That 6 looks up. So we get 9, 1, and 4. That's a 1. That's a 4. 6 can't go next to 7, so that's a 3. 7. I see several in chat pointing that out. We need to put a 5 in box 3. Thank you, Josh. MicroStudy pointing out we can't put the 8 with the 7, so this is a 5-8 pair. So what's left? 2 and 9? So what's left in this column? 1, 2, let's see.
There was a significant amount of time when I solved this where I was worried I was not going to be able to solve it, but I did eventually.
8.
I felt a great deal of relief when I figured out that 3-7x in box 7, and then I was like, okay, now I see what's happening here.
Cute. 5 can't go next to a 4 or a 6, so 5 goes here. Points out Josh. 4 doesn't go next to 3. Yes, so that's an 8. That's a 3. 9 in box 3. Just by Sudoku.
Also a given 9. Yeah, for once, purely by Sudoku. No other forces necessary.
Let's see, our row 5x Must be 2, 8. And likewise, this. And we know the order by non-consecutive. That's a 5. That's an 8. All right.
So you're already pointing out those are a 7-9 pair, and that 8 is consecutive with both 7 and 9.
Yep. 2 and 8. This is the other 7, 9, so we know which way it goes. Middle 3 rows are roped.
Almost so. Not all non-consecutive grids are roped, but a high proportion of them are. So almost all non-consecutive puzzles you solve, it will be roped in most dimensions, even though it's not technically required.
5s are done, points out Josh. We can finish column 2. Let's see. Still needs a 7 and a 2. Sayori says we can finish 9s as well. Let's see. We get one here, get one here. Ah, there they are.
Da 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 da.
Let's see, we still need a 6 and a 3. This is a 2, 8. We know the order. And the rest is just non-consecutive Sudoku.
1 in that box would be a good thing to place.
Yes, 1 goes here. Let's see. This is 6. So that's a 4 and a 6. 7, 3, and 4. Eight here, 2 here. Uh, 3 and 7. 3 down here. And I think we can probably mark the grid now. 3, 8. Probably doesn't even need non-consecutive anymore.
Once we've got this many digits in, it may not.
Yeah, the whole thing was roped, but yep. Very nice. Well, I enjoyed all these student puzzles.
I am glad. Yes, there were a lot of cool ones this time, so I was quite happy with that.
So what we are going to do right now, we're going to take a little break and we're going to switch over to ZetaMath doing a normal stream for the next couple hours.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Okay. Well, I will see everybody. So I can't stream on Tuesday. I will see if I can find a time to stream this week, but I don't know. I um I ended up setting up a commitment before I even began streaming again regularly. I set up a commitment on a Tuesday. That's this Tuesday. I might be able to stream Wednesday. We'll see. But otherwise I will see you all soon. Either way. So, all right, we're going to go to be right back, and we will get Zeta Math on stream very shortly. See you in a bit.
Welcome back, everyone. We are back with a Major Look Philomeno permaculture. So that's exciting. Oh, I left my coffee out there. Tristan will bring it to me. Let's see. So let us explain the rules here and also remind myself of the rules of Major Look, which I've done a few of. Major Look, if you've not heard of it, by the way, is a fairly recent pencil puzzle genre piloted by... I did this puzzle. I'm going to need to find a different puzzle because I've already done this one. It just didn't get deleted from the bucket. I'll be back in just a moment. Yeah, the twos in the corner I recognize. Yeah, this one just did not get omitted from the bucket. One moment. All right, I am back. That took longer than you might expect because it was a Penpa puzzle, and so Tristan had to set up the screen to display a Penpa puzzle properly. So hopefully you like the way it is displayed now. So this puzzle was voted for by Neverio, Doomdiat, Luda, Nell, Ambrose, Russ, Math Pesto, and David. So thank you all for your support. And welcome, Karen. I hope you're doing well. I'm back, made you look by. Indeed. Okay, so this is a kakuru, so I'm assuming this is just normal kakuru rules and normal arrow rules. So yeah, these clues give you the sum of the digits in the row or whatever direction they point. And you can't repeat digits within a sum. They have to be from 1 through 9, so you cannot report that. Good. Glad to hear that stuff is going well. And then we have sort of normal Sudoku arrows. This circle is the sum of these. You're still not allowed any digits that are too big. So I guess the first thing I see is that these are at least summing to 6. So this is at most a 3. I have to turn my keypad on or it won't work. So at most a 3. Sorry, so this is at least a 7. Actually, these sum to at most 9 because they're summing to a circle there. So this is at most 9 plus 9 is 18. Oh, I guess that means this is at least 4. I'm not enthusiastic about that. Okay, there we go. The same idea, but over here, Garion points out, these actually sum to at most 8. Plus 8 plus 9 is 25. So these need to be an 8, 9, and these need to sum to 8, which means that is a 1, and that's a 9. But we can bring out Zach for the 1 dance. Ba-boop-ba-doop, whoa! Ba-doop-ba-doop, whoa! Ba-doop-ba-doop, wee! Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba, waha! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. That means I know that these sum to 8 or 9. So these sum to at most 6. So they're certainly from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. What on earth is happening? Did you all see that? Random flashing? That was weird. I don't know what was happening. But it's better now. And these are also, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because they sum to 8. It was very exciting. The whole internet was going to disappear. This is a kakuru, although kakuru typically aren't on hex grids, but kakuru by Nell Gwen are on kakuru or on hex grids. So these need to sum to 13. There's still some optionality there. Let's see. There's a bunch of those. Globaglob says these can't be 1s. So 1 in those cells that sum to 8. That cell doesn't see that cell, though, right? I think that could be 1. I think these two could be 1. Oh, I see. However, these cells can't be 1 because they see the 1. And now once those cells see the 1, one of these is 1, and now that can't be 1. Got it. Okay. And so these need to sum to at most 6, so they can't be 5 either, now that they can't be 1, now that I have cleaned up the 1s. Okay. Good, good. In fact, actually, these just have to be 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because this is 14 with the... Oh, sorry. No, there could be a 1 here. I don't know there's not a 1 on this arrow. As of yet. That is a 9. Let's see. Do I know anything about these cells? Yeah, 3 plus 4, that's true. 3 plus 4 is too big because these sum to a minimum of 8. So there's definitely a 2 in these, is Josh's point. Nope, that's not what I wanted, Penpa, and you know it. That's not what I wanted either, Penpa, and you know it. Oh, I just don't even have corner marks on. Is that an option in Penpa? It usually is. Yeah, there we go. Nope. Why is it not showing up? Sudoku corner. I have enabled Sudoku corner marks, but it is not showing them to me because it's Penpa. So one of these is a 2, so that means that that's not a 2 for whatever that means. This is 2, 3, or 2, 4, yeah. J. Dyer says corner marks don't work in hex grids. No repeat until you get to a black cell in any direction. Once you have a black cell, then you can repeat again. You just can't ever do corner marks in hex grids, says Jay Dyer. Too many corners to mark, apparently. Trying to decide if there's any way that I'm trying to decide if this being 134 is going to put too many 3-4s floating around, but I don't think so. I think it's still okay if this is 134, but it looks suspicious to me, at least. Let's see. Yeah, as Josh says, there's 50% more corners, so you should be able to allow more corner marks. So what's the minimum this arrow can be? These are at maximum. Yes, this is, I guess, minimum 5. That doesn't seem super useful. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a good spot. So Garian's point is that if I look at these two cells, those two cells sum to 22 minus 9, which is to say these two cells sum to 13, because these 3 cells sum to 13, and this cell is the sum of those. So these sum to 13. So that means these sum to 4, which means they have to be 1, 3. They have no choice. Now, 1 does not work here, because if I wanted to make this a 1, I would have to make these double 9, and that doesn't work. So now that's a 3, and that's a 1. And now these sum to 16. So these are 7 and 9. And so that's the 7, and that's the 9. So this can't be a 9. So the only way that works is if that's an 8 and that's a 1. And now I said that has to be a 5 because these had to sum to 13. That was a very clever break-in here. Okay, so now these can't be 1, 8 anymore. So they're either 2, 7 or 3, 6. I don't quite see what to do with that. I see it being pointed out that that this one sees that one. So this is the one for my my thing over here. The 3, if I trace it down here, does that. Not to my knowledge, Nevario, but you never know. I could be surprised. The 35 clue, if you think about the maximum 5 cells can sum to, it's if it's 98765. And 98765 is 35. So that means in order to sum to 34, these have to be 987. Dagnammit. These have to be 98764. But of those, that one's certainly the one that's the 4. So these are not 4. And now this one's certainly not 9. I don't think it can be 8 either, because if it was 8, it would make both of these 9. Oh, and we actually said before, one of these is a 2, so this can't even be 7. No, it could be 7. I think it could be 7. But this digit's definitely a 1 now, because even if it was because it can't be a 2, and if it was as big as 3... Oh, maybe it could be a 3, actually. It's 1 or 3 for sure. So we've got all of that along here. That 4 has placed a 2. Was a little too far away. Uh, MicroStudy is remembering that these digits need to sum to 14. So if I make that a 3, that becomes a 6 plus, that becomes 9 plus 6 is 15. So that can't actually be the 3. It's actually a 1. And 1, 6 doesn't work, so it has to be 1, 7, 8, 9. And now that is 8, and so that needs to be a 4 in order to make that work. This needs to be a 3 in order to make this arrow work. So we've got that. That's not a 9 because it's seen by that 9. That's not a 9 because it's seen by that 9. So that is a 9. Several people in chat have pointed out. There's already been a 7. Oh, right. Yeah, there's already been a 7 along this diagonal. So these are a 6, 8 pair now. Let's see. Okay, so... Right, so if this is a 6, that's a 7. If this is an 8, that's a 5. I think it could be either, but it's good to know. Oh, no, it can't be because of that 7. There's a 7 up there. So that is a 5 and an 8. Which makes that a 6. So this arrow now sees 7, 8, and 9. So it's at most 6, but it's at least 3. It sees a 4 as well. So it is 3, 5, or 6. So it's not 5 either because it sees a 5 as well. So this is 3 or 6. Let's see. I don't see any amazing reason why it cannot be either of those. Yeah, so it's either 2, 4 or 1, 2. But as noted, we can't make corner marks in Penpa. So we're just going to have to rely on chat to tell me. These 4 sum to 21. I don't think that's at all interesting yet. MicroStudy, no, it is enabled, but Penpa just feels about me the way I feel about it, so it's not letting me do corner marks anyway. There's a naked single 6 on the left, next to the 9, near the 22 clue. Oh, here we go. Oh, this one? It's not 1, 2, 3. I think it could be 4. It's not 5. It's not 6. I think it could be 7. I think it could be 8. It's not 9. I don't think that's the right cell. This one? No, this one. That's not near the 22 clue, though. That can't be what Garian means. Oh, on the left, not to the left. So I think Garian's referring maybe to this cell. It's not 1. It could be 2. It can't be 3, 4, 5. It could be 6. It can't be 7. It can't be 8, and it can't be 9. So I think it's 2 or 6. Not 2 by the arrow. Oh, right, because this cell sees that arrow, right. So this is a 6. Got it. Okay, so that's a 6. So that's a 3. So that's a 2, and that's a 1. Over there. Good. So this cell is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 9. So that is an 8. So this is not 1, 2, 3. It could be 4. It's not 5, 6, 7, all right. So I think this is a naked single 4, right? Because I think this is actually 9 digits. Yeah, this is actually 9 digits. So that's a naked single 4. 1 sees both of those, so this is at least 5. But it can be anything, I think. Okay. It sees 7 and 9. That's true. Oh, this cell can't be 2 or 3. So Navario's right. This can't be 1, 2, or 3. So it's not 5 because there's no 2-cell sum to 5 that this could be. It can't be 6 either, actually, because this cell can't be 2 or 4. In fact, this cell is at least a 5, so it has to be 8, actually. This cell is at least a 5, so it is a 5 or a 6. But it can't be 6 because that would make this a 2. So actually, this is completely forced into being 5, 3. Weird. So this is not 5, 3. So this is 2, 6, or 1, 7. This one's not a 6, so that one's not a 2. This one's not a 2, so that one's not a 6. This one's not a 1, so that one's not a 7. This one's not a 2 either because of that 2. 7 and 1. Thank you, MicroStudy. So we get all of that. Going on. Unfortunately, we're just about out of clues, so we're about to have to do the rest of this entirely by hexagonal Sudoku. The 9 at the top left is forced now. Let's see. So it's not 1, 8. I think it could be 4, 5 as long as it's in this order. No, that can't be 4 or 5. So it's not 4, 5, or 1, 8. And it's not 3, 6 either. So it has to be 2, 7, actually. And the order is resolved by that 2 of all things. So that's a 7 and that's a 2. These now sum to 19 for whatever that is worth. Should I just pencil mark this cell? It's not 1 or 2 or 3. I think it can be 4. It's not 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9. So this is just a naked 4. This now sees a 7 and a 4. So it's now an 8 because of that. So I guess I just center mark this mess. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we clean it up. So those aren't 3. That one's not 4 or 2 or 5. So that one's a 7. We just make our own mark button. None of those are 7. These aren't 2 either. This one's not 4 either. So that is a 3 or a 5. Let's see. These are just a triple, so I might as well fill them in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is what these are. That one's not an 8, at least. Let's see. Several people saying not 3, but I don't know what they're saying about the not 3. I don't see it. Oh, people are saying that cell isn't 3 because of that 3. Got it. Okay. So that's a 5. These aren't 5. Okay, this is a quadruple. I might as well fill in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These I know aren't 5. That one's also not 3. Let's see. Is there another of these I know is not 5? I don't think so, unfortunately. This one sees 9 from above. Glob and Garian point out. So that's a 2, which makes that a 4 and a 3. Gets 2 out of all of these. One of these is now definitely a 5 for whatever it is worth. Is this now a naked single? It's not 1, 2, 3. I think it could be 4. It's not 5. I think it could be 6. It's not 7, 8. I think this one could actually be 9. So actually, I don't think it's anywhere near a naked single yet. Oh, not 4 by the diagonal. Agree. Sorry, that's not 4. Fifth row. Northeast even. I think it's this one people are talking about now. So let's just mark this diagonal. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are a 6, 7 pair. Oops, somehow some stupid window opened, so it's not letting me do that. Oh, it's because of keyboard shortcut nonsense. But this one's not 7, so that's a 6, and that's a 7. So we've got that. That Laura is pointing out that 3 sees that cell, so that's a 9, so that's a 6. So these are an 8, 9 pair. Either of those is a 9. These are a 3, 5 pair now. These are by the row 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are from 2, 5, 6. I don't see anything there yet. What about here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That one's not a 9 or a 6 at the very least, so that's down to 4 and 5. This one I think can be just about anything. These I'm going to fill in because I see that this cell can't be 5, so I'm wondering if there's other nonsense like that. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so the arrow circle certainly is not a 1 or a 2, at the very least. This is not a 5 because the 3, 5 sees it for sure. This is not a 1 or a 7 because that 1 and that 7 see it. This is not a 2 or a 4 looking down that direction. This one's actually not a 5 looking down that direction either. This one's not a 7, a 2, or a 5 looking down that direction. This one's not a 1, a 4, or a... Oops, I did that wrong. This one's not a 1, a 4, or a 7. So I think this one's actually a naked 2, which makes that a 4, which makes that a 1. Which makes these a 5, 7 pair. If I look at this, I was trying to decide if I knew anything about this 5, 7. I don't think I do yet. I guess I have a 19 sum over down here that might be useful at some point. Oh, wow. Garian has a smart spot, which is that this 4, 5 actually sees both of the 5, 7 pairs. So it's definitely a 4. Which is a very cool spot that I'm not sure does anything. But it's very cool. So if this was 5, it would have to be 3 there and 2 there. for whatever it is worth. Let's see. This cell, if I just write it in, it's not 1, 2. It could be 3. It's not 4. It could be 5. And it could be 6, but it can't be any larger than 6 if I look at it. So that means this can be a 1 or a 2 or a 4. It can't be a 4. So this is a 1 or a 2, I believe. Maybe there's an outside chance it's a 3. No, 3 doesn't actually work with any of the numbers. So yeah, I think this is always a 1 or a 2. I think that's backwards, Ron. I think if this is a 5 and a 3, I think it just resolves this 5, 3. I don't think it breaks. I could well be wrong. Now, I'm noticing the maximum of these is 965, but that's already plenty, so this cell doesn't have to be anything special, I don't think. And annoyingly, this cell can be 1. I guess this could never be 9. Because if that's a 9, then that's an 8, and then the sums are... Then I need these two cells to sum to 2. That's not going to work. So I can at least like do a little bit of pruning of these candidates. If this is 5 or 6... Sorry, if this is 5 or 6, these two sum to 11. That doesn't work either, actually. If this is 5 or 6, these two sum to 11. The minimum that could be is 8. This would need to be a 0. So in fact, this is actually a 2. If we do that. Yeah, so now the minimum here is 13 plus 2 is 15. So this has to be 1, 2, 3, 4 now. And it's not 4 and it's not 2. So this can only be 1 or 3. But that gives me a 5, 6 pair on this diagonal, which means I should probably fill in this diagonal. Because with the help of chat, I'll probably be able to figure this out. Okay, so these can be by the diagonal 2, 3, not 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 or 9. Well, that one can't be 9 at least. This one can't be 2 or 3 or 8. So this one just is 9 by this diagonal. For whatever that is worth. Oh, 1 is too small, I'm being told. 9 and 6 and 2. Right, 9 and 6 and 2 is not big enough to get this to be 1. So this has to be a 3, actually. Agree with Globaglob. Okay. These are either 8 and 6 or 9 and 5, but I don't think I see any sort of common universe things to denote or to take away from that. I'm trying to decide if there's some weird Sudoku thing going on 5s. Two cells left in the 9, 6, 4 row. Okay, so what are these? So these could be 2, 3, not 4, 5, not 6, 7, and 8. This one is not 2 or 3 or 8. So it's a 5 or a 7, which is going to give us a 5, 7 pair in the row. This one is not 3 or 5. So that's a 5-7 pair down this diagonal. So let's fill in that. So we could have a 1, no 2, 3, 4, no 5, 6, no 7, no 8, and 9 are the options. It's not a 1. Oh, this one isn't a 2. Wait, there's already a 9 on this diagonal. These just aren't 9. So that's actually resolved. So actually, this is a 6 and a 1, I believe, if we did that correctly. I just entered 9 recreationally, apparently. Okay. Yeah, I think that can still be any of these, unfortunately. The last digit of row 2 is a naked single, I'm being told. So it's not 1. I think it could be 2. It's not 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Yep, it is a naked 2 of all things. So let's see. So these cells are from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see. And I don't think I get any help on any of that, actually. Yeah, I don't think anything special needs to happen in order to get that math to work out. Okay, so this diagonal has 9 cells on it, which I had not appreciated. But MJ points out that there's only one spot that can actually be 6 on here. Is that true? It looks to me like either of these can be 6. I think there's 2 spots for 6, annoyingly. The 315 diagonal. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so this diagonal is the one that is has a hidden 6 because it also has 9 cells on it, even though it doesn't look like it, which means this is a 7 or an 8 to finish the diagonal, I think. Let's see. This I might as well fill in. It's not 1, 2, 3. I think it could be 4. It's not 5. It's not 6. It's not 7. Could be 8, I think, and it's not 9. So actually, this is only 4 or 8. Lakia pointing out that 6 does rule 6 out of this cell, which means that because these are both odd, this is definitely the 2. So we can do that. That 6, Ron points out, actually sees that that's a 9. So now actually these two sum to 10. So they're not 1, 9, or 2, 8. So they're 3, 7, or 4, 6. That one's not a 6, so that one's not a 4. Sure. That's not a 9. That 9 actually looks all the way back down here at the 8 and the 9. So now those sum to 14, so I need to make this a 5, which makes that a 6. In order to make that work out. Let's see, that didn't help there, I don't think. Let's see, that's another 5-7 pair. I mean, I guess I could color that these two are the same. New 9 looks back up and says that's not a 9. I agree. So these are only from 3, 4, 5. One of these two is a 7. I don't think that helps. Ambrose says the 5-7 pair sees a 3-5 pair. But I think these two are the same digit. Unless it's a different 3-5 pair. Oh, okay. So, sorry. Let me. I see Ambrose's point now. So that 5-7 is different from that 5-7. So that's the same 5-7. But now that 3-5 is different from that 3-5. So it's the same as that 3-5. And so Ambrose's point is that green 5-7 sees both blue 3-5 and pink 3-5. And so therefore it can't be 5. So it is 7. This red is 5, which means blue is 5 and pink is 3. Good spotting there. I would not have spotted that for a long time. Yikes, says Matt Laffey. That 3 looks up here, makes that not a 3. This cell probably can't be many things. It can't be 1, 2, 3. I think it could theoretically be 4 or 5. It can't be 6. Can't be 7. Can't be 8. Can't be 9. So these are actually a 4-5 pair, which now sees that cell. So that cell's a 3, which now means these aren't 3-7. They are 4-6. That 4 now sees that 5, making that 4. Let's see. How have we made it over to here? That's not a 3 anymore. Oh, that 7 sees the 7-8 literally right next to it. So that makes that a 4, makes that a 2. And we have done it. Hex puzzles always break my brain, and then I don't do them for a bit, and then I do them again, and then they break my brain. So I always wait just long enough to do a second one that I feel like I never get any better at them. But this is quite a cool combination. This little coloring thing at the end would have been like completely. Like it would have felt well within the realm of like reasonable Sudoku stuff if it were a Sudoku. It was a lot harder to spot. I'm very impressed at Ambrose spotting it. Yeah, the scanning is so hard in hexagonal things. Eckbert says they actually found cracking the cryptic by searching for kakuru and finding a Simon puzzle. Very cool. All right. I'm going to take a quick break, and I think we've got time for another puzzle. So I'm going to take a quick break, stretch my legs, and be back, and we'll do another puzzle. So be right back. If I can find the be right back button. There we go. I have found it. All right, welcome back, everyone. Next up, I have Kill the Nab Quad, a very literal interpretation of the rule set here. Because what we have here are quadruples, which, by the way, my students really liked quadruples, which was fun. Just means this digit shows up in one of these 4 cells or more. Could show up in 2 of the 4 cells. That's totally fine, too. These Nabner lines contain a string of digits with no repeats, which I guess was given, and no consecutive digits. So we've got that, and also these killer cages just give the sum. So a handful of things sort of leap out at me. So first of all, this digit's a 2. Why is this digit a 2? Because if this digit's not a 2, then there's a 2 on the Nabner, but then there's also a 1 or a 3 on the Nabner, because I can't put both 1 and 3 there. So that's a 2, and we can bring out Zach for our 2 dance. Duka, 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 duka. Woohoo! Woohoo! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Similar logic gives us the 5, the 4, and the 3. And it's also worth noting that a length 5 Nabner is always forced. It's always 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So I always have that, which means these digits are always 2, 4, 6, 8. That one seems not to be able to be a 4. That one seems not to be able to be a 2. I know that one of these 2 is a 2. And one of these 2 is a 4. And I might as well fill in that the other digit that's on here, maybe I'm not going to fill it in, actually. I was going to fill in what the other options are, given that it's on a Nabner with a 2 and a 4, but the answer is it could be 6, 7, 8, or 9, and I don't really want to fill that in. J. Dyer has spotted that this digit is not 8, because an 8 would require a 1 and a 1 in order to make the sum work, and that would break the quadruples. So this is a 4 or a 6. If it was a 6, it would make these a 1, 3. Eckbert has spotted that 5 is just placed here. Because I need a 5 on the quad, and that 5 looks up. So I do have a 3. Actually, that just places this 3, actually. Looking down now. So now this is a 19 without a 3 or a 5, so that assuredly must be interesting. It is less interesting than supposed. Oh, it doesn't have a 6 either, though. So funnily enough, this is one of those dumb killer deductions. It now definitely has an 8 if you look at the killer calculator above my head that I think you can see. Yes, you can. If you look up there, you can see now this cage definitely has an 8. I'm not going to use that. Let's see. Good spot from Lakia. This can't be a 4, because if this was a 4, I would need these 2 to add to 6, and it couldn't be 2, 4, or 1, 5. So therefore, that is a 6 with a 1, 3 pair flanking it. And now that 1, 3 pair looks over at that cell and tells me that these are a 1, 3 pair, which in fact gives me a 1 and a 3 looking like that. This is, of course, not 1 or 3 for lots of reasons. So one of these is a 1. Those aren't 6. For what it is worth. Okay, 5 is not there. It's not there. So one of these 2 is a 5. 4 is placed there, points out Jim and Eckbert and Garion. So one of these 2 is a 6, and it's that one, owing to the 6 there. Let's see. Let me fill in the rest of this row, because we've got the 1, 2, 3. We still need a 4. And I know where the 4 goes, in fact. I'm just going to fill it in. The 4 doesn't go on a Nabner line there. Okay, so now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are just 7, 8, 9. And that one's not a 7, because it's on a Nabner line with a 6. So we've got that. I know there's a 1 and a 3 corner marked down here, and I know that one's not a 3 for what it's worth. 6 is placed by these 6s, points out Mekti up here, because it can't go on this this line. Very good. Let's see. Do I want to do this without a 3 or a 4? So we've got all of those, and we definitely have a 2 or an 8, so it's not that one either. So this is either 269 or 278, apparently. There's always a 2 in it, it would seem. So it's very weird. This cage always has a 2 in it, which I'm not going to use that either. It would place the 2, but that can't be what is intended. One of these 2 is a 4. It's a 4 quad. Right. One of these 2 is a 4, and it's not the one that has a 4 in the row. So that's a 4. We have solved the mystery. This does not have a 3 in it. One of these 2 is a 3, for what that's worth. One of these 2 is a 3. I don't think I know which one yet, but I do know that's not a 3. 4 in box 6 is placed. Very good. 4 is placed over in one of these 2 cells. I don't know which one yet. 5 I know is in one of these 2 cells. I don't know which one yet, but I know that's not a 5. Let's see. 3 in row 4 is under the 5. The 3 in box 5 is in column 5. Good spot. Good spot. Right. I've ruled 3 off of these 2 cells, so there's a 3 actually corner marked in one of those, so that's not a 3. So Martin's point is actually that's a 3. Very good. Which actually places that 3 over there, which actually places this 3 here. We collect a lot of Martins around here, but welcome, welcome, Martin. This is a 3. Martins and Jays, I feel, are very well represented around here. One of these is a 4. See, I can go ahead and cross out the 4 now. So if I'm not going to use 4, 5, or 6, apparently I have to be 2, 8, 9 to make this work. That seems believable. So that makes these all the things that aren't 2, 8, and 9. And funnily enough, I don't actually have it resolved yet from that. That 5 places a 5 here. These are a pair of 1 and 7, I believe, for what it is worth. Let's see. The 1 on the 1 quad, Mekti points out, looks right at that. So because that can't be a 1, one of these 2 is a 1, so that can't be. Which is then going to place a 1 down here. The 7 up here. I was going to rule 7 out of my 17 cage, which now must be 2, 6, 9. And that's actually perfectly reasonable because I can't have both a 2 and an 8 in this cage if I can't have a 7, because 2 and 8 add to 10, and that would 7 less than 17. So that's 2, 6, 9. So that's not a 2. That's not a 9. Oh, but this isn't a 9 because of the quintuple in the column. So that just is a 2. So that's now placed the 2 and the 4 over there. That is not a 2. Let's see. So if I fill in this row now, keep in mind we have a 6-9 pair in the row already. And this can't be 1 or 5 because of the 2 4. So this is an 8, which gives me a 1 and a 5 there through the magic of Napner lines. Let's see. Let us deck out the rest of these boxes with some pencil marks. So that seems to be a 179 triple, which makes that a 6. The 179 makes that a 9. This 2 8 looks over and makes that a 4 and an 8. Those aren't 9. That's not 8. These are now just a pair. Sven doesn't see it that way, but they're a 3 5 pair. So these are a 1 7 8 triple, apparently. 8 in box 7 is there. Good. Thank you to Globaglob there. Okay, so we can resolve what this is now, or at least know that it needs a 5, because otherwise the sum is too large. So that's not a 5 or an 8. That's not a 6 or an 8. In particular, that places the 5 there. Oh, there's a 5 quadruple, actually, which is very interesting because it means that's a 5, which now means that's a 5. Thank you, Lakia, for reminding me of the 5 quadruple that I was going to completely forget about. So that did a lot of damage. All of these other quadruple... Oh, no, this 1 quadruple still needs a 1, actually. So I was going to say it's all done, but it's not all done. So that means that's a 1. Let's see, I think I can mark the whole grid now, probably. Maybe that was ill-advised, if I'm being honest. I see that's a 4. Is that the last 4 in the grid? No, I still have one more 4 in the grid. That's a 4. That's a 7-9 pair, points out Josh. So that makes that a 6, which now means these can't be 6-9. They have to be 8-7 in order to make my sum work. 2 9 2 9 2 8 1 7 8 1 6 9 8 7 2 9 7 8 2 6 9. Very nice puzzle there, PDN. Very smooth. Let's see if I can pull up something else, because that was fast enough. We've got time for another puzzle. Let's see. I think I already did this one, didn't I? I did do this one. One moment while I try not to pick out the same ones that I picked out last time. Okay, let us do this this codec puzzle. If it comes up. All right, so this is transmission by codec. So we have normal Sudoku, parity counter lines. The digit on one endpoint of a blue line indicates the number of even digits on the line, while the digit on the other end indicates the number of odd digits on the line. So these are like something bridges, or whatever, right? I think these are called something bridges, is another name for these same kinds of lines. Because I think on the 24-hour stream last year, I think we set a puzzle with this rule set, except it was a J. Dyer deconstruction. Oh, this includes the digits on the endpoints. Okay, so it is slightly different. So the digits on the endpoints are included. And then we have consecutive pairs. A white dot between two cells means that the values are consecutive. Not all white dots are necessarily given. Okay. So, for example, these two digits add to 8. These two digits add to 6. Because they are the total along the whole line. So let's see. So that does mean that these are from 1, 2, 4, 5 for what it is worth. And these are also from 1, 2, 4, 5. So we actually get a quadruple. That means this can't be a 1 because I would need to put a 2 there, but I can't because of the quadruple. So that's not a 1 and that's not a 5. So this digit here has to be a 3 or a 6 in order to be consecutive with this. How big is this line? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got... This also has to be a 3 or a 6 because these have to add to 7 and they can't be 0. And so that means this needs to be a 3 or a 6 just because I've used up the 1, 2, 4, 5. And so we've got this 7, 8, 9 triple here. And this is 1 or 4 going along here. Oh, this can't be a 1. Oh, wait, maybe it could. If it's a 1, it's saying there's one even digit along the line. Because there's definitely an odd and an even digit here. And there's an odd and an even digit here. Which is kind of interesting. For whatever that is worth. It must be worth something, but I'm not sure what yet. If this is a 6, it's saying that these digits are either all even or all odd, which I guess isn't wholly impossible. Whichever of these is 1, 5, it's saying all 4 of those digits are the same parity. Let's see. Is it a problem if all 4 of those digits are the same parity for one of these? I don't think so yet. So this digit sees all 4 of those. For whatever that is worth. But these 4 wouldn't have to be different necessarily. That one could repeat over there. Let's see. Chad says row 2 cannot have 6 odds. I agree it doesn't have 6 odds, but I don't quite see that. Marking 1, 2, 4, 5 on box 5 end lines. Okay, so these are actually from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because these could be double 3. Interestingly. Yeah, the Globaglob points out. And so this line is 7 long. So these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I guess they have to be a double 3. I suspect they have to be a double 3, but I don't see why yet. Okay, let's see. Chad says if these are 1, 5, then that's going to put too many odds in this row. So if these are 1, 5, the 5 is definitely the number of odds. So all of these would be odd. There would be an odd there. I don't see where the other two odds are. I mean, one of these two would be odd, but I don't quite see it. Right. Okay, that's genius. Okay, I see it now. So these are two different sums to 6. And the point is, these two can't be that sum to 6, and they can't be that sum to 6 either. So these definitely are 3s, which is very nice. So let us bring out Zach for the 3 dance. Ba-doop-ba-doop, woo! Ba-doop-ba-doop, wah! Ba-doop-ba-doop, wee! Thank you, Zach. Tristan finished all the puzzles from the class, so we just shifted over and started doing other puzzles. So we get all of that. So if I odd color, those are all odd. These are even. So the 2 is definitely the number of odds on the lines. There's definitely 4 evens on the line for whatever that is worth. Also, 6 is even. 1s and 3s are odd. These aren't 3, so they're not 4 either, because these two, remember, sum to 7. Let's see. So these are all the same. They're either all odd or all even. Not sure yet which one they are. Column 2, Josh says count the odds. That's 4 odds. The 5th one is there, so the rest of the column is even. In particular, that makes that an 8, which makes these not 8. And if you look at them, they're now both odd. These two sum to 8. So once one of them is even, they're both even, which makes them 2, 6. So the even digit on this dot here is not 2, 6, and it's certainly not 8 because there's a 7, 9 above it. So it's a 4. And so these are from 3, 4, 5. Coming down over here. There aren't 2 evens on this line. So there are 6 evens on this line. Which means all of the evens are over here. There aren't 2 evens, by the way, because I already have 3, and I know about the 4th even. So that means there need to be 6 evens, which means there are 4 evens in here, which means both of these are odd. This is a gorgeous puzzle, by the way. 2 is even, by the way. So this is 4 or 6. I'm just going to note for when I need it later. Let's see. Okay. Matt Laffey points out, I know 3 of these digits are even, so assuredly these, which are all the same, are not even, so they're all odd instead. So this 6 is counting the number of odds instead of the number of evens. And the 4th even must be there, therefore. So if this line has 6 of anything, it has 6 evens, which seems difficult to imagine, but maybe not totally impossible. Oh, where did 2 and 6 go in this box? 2 and 6 go here. Oops. They're a hidden pair. So this is 4 or 8. for what it is worth. Let's see. 6 is up there somewhere. Let's see. Jay Dyer, I think, is saying this can't be 1/6. I don't think I quite understand why yet. Let's see. I know these are both odd because the only 2-digit sum to 8 that uses evens is 2, 6. So these are both odd for sure. And they can't possibly be 1, 7 because there aren't 7 evens on this line and there aren't 7. Oh, actually, do I know there's not 7 odds? I do know there's not 7 odds because there's at most 4. So these have to be 3, 5, and I know the order. Oops. And I'll even put the 3 in the right place. That's very cute. I like that a lot. So that means that there are... Well, there's not 5 evens, so there's assuredly 3 evens in here. So there's 1 even left in here. So these are an odd even, so I can mark that like that. There are either 2 evens here or 0 evens here, based on this. But it must be that there's 2 evens. So therefore, these are both even. So therefore, these are all odd by the column. I love this puzzle. This puzzle is great. I mean, no surprise, it's a codec puzzle, but what are you gonna do? 3 in box 4 is on this line with the 4, so these are a 3-4 pair. It's being pointed out by Mekti. So there are 3 total odds here. One of them is here, so there's 2 more. I'm trying to understand Martin's point. I don't quite see it yet. I know the last even in this row is here, if I look at this, because I need an additional even to make that 3 true, which means all of these are odd. Which now makes, for all the odds in the box, which makes that even. And as soon as it's even, we actually know it's an 8. I know one of these is a 1. Yeah, it's 4 evens and 2 odds that are on this line. I agree with that. This is certainly a 4 or an 8 for what it's worth. Okay, so I understand. So here's the point from Martin. This is an even and an odd. So just by box math alone, that's an even and an odd. That's definitely an even and an odd. And so now if I look at this row and count, I've used up all the evens, so that's odd. That is Martin's point. see. I'm being told this cannot be 6. Right. Because if either end of this was 6, it would mean the only odd or the only even was at the end. But we now know that there's at least one other even and at least 2 other odds. So this is definitely a 2-5 pair and not a 1-6 pair. For what it is worth. And so the thing there's only 2 of on this line must be evens, because I already know of 3 odds. So there's 2 evens, and it's the 2 and the 4, 8, which makes both of these odd. Which is assuredly helpful because, question mark, let's see. This is 5, 7, or 9. I'm just going to note because it sees the, 3, 5, or 9 because it sees the 2, 5. I'm just marking it so that I don't forget it sees the 2, 5. So we either see... Oh, sorry. 5 was the one I was supposed to take off. 5 is the one I was supposed to take off. It sees a 2, 5, so it can't be 7 because 2 plus 5 is 7 or something. I don't know. There's no way this is an 8, right? If this were an 8, that would be a 1. I would have to have all of these being odd. No, that doesn't work. If this is an 8, it makes this 1. There must be 8 odds, so therefore everything is odd except the 8, but that breaks box 8 because we've now put 6 odds in box 8. So therefore that's the 8 just by Sudoku. Okay, so Garion pointing out these are 1, 7, and 9. Which now makes this a naked 5. Very cool. Which then makes this a 2 and that a 5. And there's my 2 evens, so that's all in good shape. There's a 2 in one of these 2 cells. Don't think I know which one yet, though. Yeah, the line could still be 8-1. It would just have to be 8-1 the other way. Someone was saying look at 1 in this box. I know one of these 2 is a 1. Do I know it's not that one? Is there something wrong with this being 1, 2? That's all the odds down here. That's a good point. So those are all even. So this is a 4 or a 6. That seems helpful. One of these is the 1. So one of these is a 1 for what it's worth. One of these is a 2 for what it's worth. So now it can't be a 1-8 line. You're right. Also, this cell's definitely odd because these 2 add to 9. So that's the last odd over down here. So these are all even. So now it has to be 3, 5, just by counting. And the thing there's 3 of is probably evens. Uh-oh, I broke it. Oh, it's because 3 and 5 don't add to 3 and 5 don't add to 9. Fun fact. So I guess it's 3, 6, or 4, 5, but it's not 4, 5 for the reason I just discovered, which is that there are 5s in both of them, so it has to be 3 and 6. 2 and 6 and 2, which has made this 3 and that 4. There we go. Now, if there were 3 odds, these would all be even, which I think is technically possible. These are all the same. Oh, right. These have to be even, actually. Because these are all the same, because I have currently 3 odds and 3 evens on this line. These are all the same, but they can't be odd, because if they were odd, that would be 6 odds for the column. So these, in fact, surprisingly, are all even, which makes those all odd. So we've got that. Very good. Todd points out this sees every even. It sees 2, 4, and 8 in the column and 6 in the row. So that's odd and that's even. And we can remove our red line. There. That's 4 evens in this column. So those are both odd, which makes that even. We can remove that red line. This column has all its odds, so that's even. In fact, this box has all its odds, so that's even as well, while we are at doing that kind of thing. Row 8 is done with the odds. Good, so those are even, and that's odd. And now this row is done with the odds, so that's even. This column is now done with the evens, so that's odd. Yes. All good, all good. Three is placed in row 4 is a good spot. By Sudoku, of all things. So these are a 179, I believe. That is a 3 just by Sudoku on 3s. And now that is a 3 by Sudoku on 3s, and that's all the 3s. One of these is a 2. So Globaglob's point is that actually gives us a Zackwing on 2s, which places 2 there. So we're almost done with 2s, but not quite. So this is a 4 or an 8, and that's a 4 or an 8. Oh, this is just the last even for the column. Can fill that in. 8 in box 2. Do I know that 8 in box 2 isn't on this line? I don't think I know that yet. Let's see. 5 I know is in one of these 2 cells in this box. So 5 is in one of these 2 cells over here. In fact, I know this is a 1 or a 5 for whatever that's worth. This is a 7 or a 9, just by the row and the 1-5 pair, points out Ron. So now this is a naked 5, conveniently, because it sees 1, 3, 7, 9. So these are a 7-9 pair, which makes that a 5, which makes that a 5, which makes that a 1 and a 5. So that was a fruitful observation from Ron. That digit now sees every odd because it sees 1, 3, 5 and a 7, 9 pair. So this digit is even, which makes that digit odd, which you'd think would resolve the column, but I don't think it does quite. One of these is a 1. Let's see. This is a 4 or an 8. This is a 7 or a 9. These are 1, 7, 9. 6 is in one of these two cells. 1 in box 2, right. Now there's a 2. So now the 1 has to go there. Because the 1 can't go on the dot now that there's a 2 in the box. So that is blue, and that is blue, and that is orange. Thank you for that point about there being a 2 in the box. I was going to somehow not see that for a while. So now we've got all of our coloring. This is a 7 or a 9. Regardless of whether it's a 7 or a 9, the only digit this can be is 8, which makes that a 4 and an 8, makes that a 4 and an 8, makes that a 4. These are a 2 and a 4. So that makes this a 1 or a 5, but it can't be a 1. So this is a 5, which makes that a 4 and a 2, 4 and a 2. Let's see. This is a 7 or a 9. Oh, so that seems to be a 5 while we're at it. So that's a 1. So these are a 7, 9 pair bouncing around the grid. That's a 1. So these are a 7, 9 pair. That's a 1 just by the column. So this is a 7 or a 9, but it can't be a 9 because of the 8 up there. So we get to resolve that's a 7, making that a 6. And now we get to bounce around and resolve all of our 9s and 7s, I presume, because we have no clues left. 9, 1, 7, 9, 7, 7, 7, 9, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9. That's the 2 and the 8 going in there. That is the 6 and the 8 going in there. That is the 4, the 6 and the 8. And we're done with our evens. Oh, not quite. We still have a 6 left. Oh, yeah, the 6 goes there. One of these is a 1 and the other is a 9. Yep, sure is. One of these is a 7 and the other is a 9. Oh, except that's the one that's the 9 and that's the 7. That will resolve the rest of the grid. Wonderful puzzle there, Kodak. I really enjoyed that. Quite with that. The ones that you call my lines, I learned about from Clover. I just took it out of Clover's 4x4 pack that I did the same day. I don't know that I have a huge preference between the two in terms of whether you count the digits at the end or don't count the digits at the end. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. All right. Well, thanks, everyone, for hanging out for stream today. Good fun all around. Glad to be back to streaming regularly. I'll be back on Friday, so you can look forward to that. Tristan may or may not, as he said, be streaming in the middle of the week at some surprise time because he can't stream at his normal time. But I will see you at my normal time next Friday. So I look forward to seeing you all then. Thanks to everyone who supports the stream. Especially those of you who support it financially. If you want to support the stream financially and keep it going, you can click the join button down below and you can support us for as little as $5 a month. We greatly appreciate all of you who do. If you support at higher levels than that, you get to do things like vote on what puzzles we start stream with each time. So we try and make that worthwhile. And for those people who really go above and beyond, we read their names at the end of each stream. So thank you to David, Nordy, Franco, Daniel, Danita, Nell, and Plogtime. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.